There are moments in life when the air around you begins to change. You can't explain it, but you can feel it. Something begins to shift in the atmosphere. Something stirs in the unseen. Something whispers to your spirit that what has been will not always be. And if you are listening closely, if your heart is open, you will sense this truth. God is about to shock you with favor. Not just bless you, not just help you, not just guide you, but shock you, surprise you, lift you, shake the ground beneath your feet with a level of goodness your mind has not even imagined. Many people live their lives expecting trouble, expecting disappointment, expecting betrayal, expecting loss. But when God steps in, He breaks the cycle in a moment. He interrupts the flow of negativity with a wave of divine intervention. God specializes in sudden turnarounds. God specializes in impossible reversals. God specializes in lifting the forgotten, healing the wounded, strengthening the weary, and honoring the humble. When God decides to release favor over your life, there is no force in existence that can block it, delay it, or dilute it. And this is what I want you to hear right now. You are closer to your breakthrough than you think. You are standing at the edge of a divine shift. God has watched your silent battles, your hidden tears, your private faith, your long nights, your deep frustrations. God has seen every moment when you still held on, even when you felt like letting go. And God has decided that this is the season to reward your endurance. This is the season where God turns your waiting into winning. This is the season where God transforms what the enemy meant for your harm into the very thing that lifts you higher. You may feel overlooked right now. You may feel forgotten. You may feel like life has moved forward for others while you remain stuck in the same place. But God is about to show you that He has not forgotten you for a single second. God has been preparing a blessing so extraordinary, so tailor-made, so specific to your journey, that when it arrives, you will say, only God could have done this. Only God could have opened this door. Only God could have lifted me this way. When God releases favor, it does not come politely. It does not come quietly. It does not come gently. God's favor comes like a flood. God's favor breaks barriers, destroys limitations, and pulls you out of places where others expected you to remain. God's favor moves you from the back of the line to the front. God's favor elevates you in rooms where they never intended to honor you. God's favor places your name in conversations you were never invited into. God's favor turns the hearts of people who once ignored you into people who now support you. You have been praying, you have been waiting, you have been fighting battles that no one sees, and God is about to honor your persistence. God is about to reward your faithfulness. God is about to release a blessing so profound that even your enemies will have to acknowledge that something divine has touched your life. They won't be able to deny it. They won't be able to explain it. They won't be able to understand it. They will simply have to witness the hand of God on you. Some of you have gone through a season where everything seemed to fall apart. Relationships broke, finances collapsed, plans crumbled, opportunities vanished. But God did not let these losses happen to destroy you. God allowed these things to fall away because they could not go with you into the next level of favor. God had to prune you, refine you, cleanse you, strengthen you, so that when the blessing arrives, you will be ready to carry. You see, God does not build miracles on unstable foundations. God will strip away everything that cannot support your destiny. And even though the stripping feels painful, it is also preparation. Every closed door was a setup for a better door. Every delay was divine protection. Every disappointment was a redirection. God is intentional. God is precise. God is strategic. God knows exactly what you need, when you need it, and how much weight you can carry. And right now, God is preparing to shock you. Not with ordinary blessings, but with uncommon favor, with unexpected help, with unimaginable breakthroughs. God is setting things in motion behind the scenes that will leave you speechless. God is arranging people, opportunities, resources, ideas, and open doors in ways you cannot see yet. But soon, very soon, everything will unfold. There are blessings God releases slowly, And then there are blessings God releases suddenly, and the blessing coming your way will be a suddenly. Suddenly the phone will ring, suddenly the opportunity will appear, suddenly the burden will lift, suddenly the clarity will come, suddenly the path will open, suddenly the thing you prayed for years will land in your hands in a moment. God is about to accelerate what has been delayed. God is about to multiply what has been lacking. God is about to resurrect what has been dying. You are entering a season where the struggle will not match the blessing. You are entering a season where the pain will not match the promotion. You are entering a season where the tears you cried will return as the harvest you reap. There are people who have underestimated you. Let them. There are people who have doubted you. Let them. There are people who walked away from you. Let them, because when God releases favor, He does not need their approval. When God decides to lift you, He does not ask anyone's permission. God does not consult your critics when He blesses you. God does not review the opinions of others before He elevates you. And here is what you need to understand. Favor is not fairness. Favor is divine advantage. Favor is supernatural promotion. Favor is when God steps into your situation and turns everything in your favor, even when you don't have the qualifications, even when you don't have the connections, even when you don't have the resources. Favor breaks the natural order. Favor overrides the rules. Favor cancels the limitations. Favor produces results that make no sense. You are not blessed because people like you. You are blessed because God chose you. You are not rising because circumstances favor you. You are rising because God's hand is on you. You are not moving forward because the path is easy. You are moving forward because God is guiding your steps. You are not winning because life is fair. You are winning because God is faithful. And God is about to show you how faithful He truly is. Some of you have been carrying burdens that were never meant to be permanent. God is about to lift those burdens. Some of you have been fighting battles that seemed endless. God is about to bring victory. Some of you have been feeling stuck in a place that felt too small for your purpose. God is about to expand your territory. Some of you have been surviving on little. God is about to trust you with much. You are stepping into a season where God will shock you with favor in ways that redefine your life. You will not just be blessed, you will be transformed. You will not just receive gifts, you will receive purpose. You will not just overcome challenges, you will rise into a new dimension of strength, clarity, and victory. This is the moment where God rewrites your story. This is the moment where God reveals why the struggle lasted as long as it did. This is the moment where God proves that He wastes nothing. No tear, no trial, no sleepless night, no heartbreak. Everything you have endured is becoming the foundation of the favor that is about to rest on your life. God is preparing to give you a blessing that matches the suffering you endured, a blessing that matches the patience you carried, a blessing that matches the battles you fought, a blessing that matches the prayers you whispered when you didn't think anyone heard you. You have cried long enough, you have waited long enough, you have survived long enough. Now God is about to make you smile again, laugh again, dream again, believe again. God is about to restore everything you thought was gone forever. If only you knew how close you are, if only you knew how much God has prepared, if only you knew the magnitude of the blessing that is approaching you, if only you knew the doors God is preparing to swing open, if only you knew the opportunities that are heading your way, if only you knew the healing that is already forming, if only you knew the breakthroughs that are gathering strength. God is not finished with you. God is not done writing your story. God is not done shaping your destiny. God is not done lifting you from where life tried to bury you. The same God who brought you through the valley will pull you onto the mountaintop. The same God who held you in the storm will honor you in the sunlight. The same God who carried you through the fire will crown you with favor. And let me tell you something. Your life is about to change so drastically that even you will struggle to recognize yourself. You will look back and say, I don't know how God did it, but God did it. You will look back and say, I didn't deserve it, but God gave it. You will look back and say, I was broken, but God restored me. I was lost, but God guided me. I was overlooked, but God chose me. God is about to shock you with favor. Favor that promotes you, favor that protects you, favor that accelerates you, favor that sustains you, favor that strengthens you, favor that lifts you so high that no enemy can pull you down. When God prepares to release favor, He often allows the stage of your life to go dark first. Not because He has forsaken you, but because divine favor shines brightest against the background of adversity. Some of you are in that dark stage right now, the silent stretch where nothing seems to move, nothing seems to change, nothing seems to shift. You pray and hear no answer. You try and see no progress. You hope and feel no confirmation. But what you cannot see is that God is orchestrating a transformation on the other side of that silence. God does His greatest work in the unseen. God builds your future in places where your eyes cannot look. God prepares your elevation in the shadows before He reveals it in the light. And when He reveals it, everything that once confused you suddenly makes sense. There is a timing to favor, and God's timing is beyond human understanding. If God had blessed you too early, you would not have been ready. If God had opened the door before you matured, you would not have been able to handle what was behind it. God delays not to deny you, but to develop you. God withholds not to punish you, but to strengthen you. God restricts not to harm you, but to shape you into someone who can carry the responsibility of the blessing without collapsing under its weight. When God is about to shock you with favor, He first prepares your character, your resilience, your discernment, and your spiritual endurance. You may think you're waiting on God, but often God is waiting on you to release what's hurting you, waiting on you to surrender what you cannot change, waiting on you to trust when you want to doubt, waiting on you to rise when everything in you wants to retreat. God is not looking for perfection. He is looking for willingness. If He finds a willing heart, He can pour favor without measure. If He finds a steady spirit, He can release blessings that outlive seasons. If He finds trust, even trembling trust, He can lift you to heights no human hand can reach. The very places where you felt most defeated will become the very places where God displays the greatest victory. The ground where you cried will become the ground where you rejoice. The season where you felt abandoned will become the season where God proves you were carried. Favor does not avoid pain. Favor transforms it. Favor does not ignore your wounds. Favor heals them. Favor does not erase your past. Favor redeems it and uses it as the soil for new growth. God wastes nothing. What hurt you, God will use. What disappointed you, God will rebuild. What left you, God will replace with something immeasurably better. And right now, God is positioning you. You may feel like nothing is changing, but every day God is shifting something in your favor. God is turning hearts. God is moving circumstances. God is aligning opportunities. God is pushing people into your life and pulling others out. God is orchestrating connections you haven't met yet and removing dangers you never saw. God is working while you sleep, while you pray, while you wait, while you wonder if anything is happening at all. Favor does not always announce itself before it arrives. Sometimes favor slips in quietly and then explodes suddenly. There are blessings that are born from endurance. There are breakthroughs that appear only after every human option has failed. There are ways God moves only when it becomes clear that no one else can take the credit. And maybe that is why God has allowed everything to fall apart around you, so that when He lifts you, there will be no doubt who did it. God often allows the situation to become impossible so that when He intervenes, it is undeniable. God lets the odds stack against you so that when He turns them in your favor, the testimony is unmistakable. The season you are stepping into will be a season where you no longer apologize for what God gives you. You will no longer shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You will no longer hide your blessings because of how others might react. When God releases favor, He doesn't release it for you to bury it. He releases it for you to live in it, walk in it, rise in it, and give glory to Him through it. Every blessing God gives has purpose. Every open door has meaning. Every breakthrough has a mission attached to it. Some of you have been attacked not because you are weak, but because you carry potential. The enemy does not fight empty vessels. The enemy fights the ones God has marked for influence, purpose, and divine impact. The heaviness you feel is not a sign of defeat. It is a sign that something great is on its way. The pressure on your spirit is not a sign that God is far. It is a sign that God is preparing to release something powerful. Diamonds are formed under pressure. Gold is purified in fire. And chosen ones are strengthened in adversity. Do not misinterpret your struggle. God has been refining you for the very favor He is about to send. You will see that the things that left your life were never meant to stay. God will reveal why certain people walked away. God will show you why certain opportunities didn't work out. God will make clear why He closed doors you desperately wanted to walk through. All of it was protection. All of it was preparation. All of it was alignment for a blessing that requires the right people, the right environment, the right mindset, and the right timing. God does not bless you in places that cannot sustain your growth. God does not elevate you in environments that would sabotage your destiny. Some people could not stay with you because they were not built to go where God is taking you. Some paths became blocked because they were beneath your purpose. Some dreams fell apart because they were too small for the magnitude of what God has planned for you. When God is about to shock you with favor, He removes everything that cannot handle the weight of the next level. And that is why the separation hurts so deeply. That is why the loss felt so personal. That is why the transition felt so lonely. Because God was not just rearranging your surroundings, God was restructuring your identity. You are not who you used to be. You are no longer the version of yourself that tolerated disrespect, settled for less, accepted doubt, or lived in fear. God has been strengthening your spirit, maturing your discernment, and awakening your inner power. The favor coming your way will not fall on the old you, it will fall on the new you, the one God has been constructing in silence, the one who knows peace even in chaos, the one who trusts God even in uncertainty, the one who refuses to break under pressure, the one who has learned how to stand alone without collapsing, the one who has learned that strength does not come from circumstances, but from surrender to God. Your life is about to experience a dramatic shift, not a gradual change, but a sudden shift, a shift that accelerates what was slow, a shift that strengthens what was weak, a shift that opens what was closed, a shift that releases what was delayed. God is not going to sprinkle favor. God is going to pour it. God is not going to give you a small lift. God is going to elevate you so far that people who once ignored you will have no choice but to acknowledge the transformation. There will be moments where you will look around and wonder, how did everything change so quickly? That is what happens when God steps into your life with favor. Processes collapse, timelines shorten, obstacles evaporate. What once took years will happen in moments. What once required struggle will unfold with ease. You will no longer strive for what God intends for you. You will receive it because it is already written in your destiny. And hear this deeply, some blessings come with no warning. God is going to surprise you. God is going to exceed your expectations. God is going to break every limit you placed on yourself. You have been dreaming too small. You have been expecting too little. You have been praying for manageable blessings when God intends to give you miraculous ones. God's favor does not fit inside your comfort zone. God's blessings do not fit inside your logic. God's grace does not fit inside your expectations. You are rising into a season that will challenge everything you thought you knew about what God can do. You are stepping into a future where the impossible becomes normal, where the unimaginable becomes familiar, where the unbelievable becomes your new reality. When God prepares to release a new dimension of favor over your life, He often stretches your faith in ways that feel uncomfortable, not to weaken you, but to enlarge you. not to break you, but to build you. God will allow you to stand in moments where everything familiar disappears, where the props you once leaned on can no longer hold you, where the people you depended on are no longer present. These are not moments of abandonment, they are moments of divine strengthening. God is teaching you to stand on the foundation of faith alone, because the blessing He is preparing requires a depth of trust that cannot come from comfort. There is a level of favor that only rests on those who have been through fire without surrendering their hope, those who stayed kind when mistreated, those who stayed faithful when forgotten, those who stayed patient when overlooked. God watches how you respond when life is unfair. God observes how you behave when others misjudge you. God sees how you carry yourself when the world gives you every reason to grow bitter. And when God sees integrity in the face of injustice, humility in the face of pride, courage in the face of fear, God marks you for extraordinary favor. Some of the attacks you faced were not random, they were strategic attempts to break the qualities God needed to bless you. The enemy attacked your confidence because God planned to elevate you. The enemy attacked your peace because God prepared to give you influence. The enemy attacked your relationships because God intended to surround you with people of purpose. The enemy attacked your mind because God was preparing to give you clarity. But every attack failed. You are still standing, you are still believing, you are still hoping. And because you endured what was meant to destroy you, God is about to trust you with what others could not handle. Do not underestimate how much your endurance matters. Every moment you stayed faithful when you wanted to give up became a seed. Every moment you continued praying when answers seemed far became a seed. Every moment you continued walking even when the path felt steep became a seed. And God never lets a seed die in the ground. God never lets perseverance go unrewarded. God never ignores the heart that refuses to quit. You may not see it yet, but a harvest of favor is forming. Heavy, abundant, overflowing, and designed specifically for you. And when God releases this favor, it will not blend into your normal life. It will interrupt it. It will be a disruptive blessing, a transformative blessing, a blessing that redraws the map of your life and places you in environments you never imagined entering. God is not preparing you for small changes. God is preparing you for sweeping transformation. You will walk differently, think differently, speak differently, and move with a confidence born not of pride, but of divine assurance. God is about to make you aware of strengths you did not know you carried, and opportunities you did not know were waiting. One of the greatest signs that favor is approaching is when your spirit outgrows your surroundings. You begin to feel uncomfortable in places where you once felt at ease. Conversations that once satisfied you now drain you. Environments that once energized you now feel too small. This is not frustration. It is divine expansion. God is enlarging your capacity, stretching your spirit, preparing you for blessings that cannot fit inside the limitations of your past. When God begins to grow you internally, it is only a matter of time before He elevates you externally. The loneliness you felt was not a punishment. It was separation for elevation. God had to pull you away from people who could not see your value. God had to distance you from those who would have mishandled your favor. God had to shield you from voices that would have filled you with doubt instead of faith. Isolation often precedes impartation. When God is about to give you something big, He removes the noise so you can hear Him clearly. You are not alone. You are being refined, instructed, and strengthened by God Himself. There is a moment in the life of every believer when you must decide whether you will trust what you see or trust what God said. Vision is limited, but God's wisdom is infinite. Your view is small, but God's plan is boundless. You see the struggle, but God sees the victory behind it. You see the delay, but God sees the perfect moment of your arrival. You see the broken pieces, but God sees how they will form the masterpiece of your destiny. And if you choose to trust God over your circumstances, nothing can stop the favor He will release. There is a reason God is about to shock you with favor, because you have reached the end of your own strength. When your strength ends, God's strength begins. When your ideas end, God's wisdom begins. When your resources end, God's provision begins. When your ability ends, God's power begins. You have walked as far as your own legs could carry you, and now God is about to lift you the rest of the way. You are stepping into a blessing that does not rely on your effort, but on God's sovereignty. And hear this deeply: God has watched every tear you cried in silence. God has seen the nights where sleep would not come because your spirit was heavy. God has seen the days where you carried responsibilities that felt too heavy for one person. God has seen the moments where you smiled on the outside while breaking on the inside. And because God saw it all, God is about to restore it all. The same God who witnessed your suffering is now preparing your blessing. The same God who counted your tears is now measuring your joy. The same God who allowed the struggle is now preparing the breakthrough. There is favor coming that will silence every fear, calm every anxiety, and dissolve every worry that has tormented your mind. There is favor coming that will confirm every prayer you prayed and validate every sacrifice you made. There is favor coming that will make you realize the wait was not a delay, it was divine timing. God will not bring the blessing too early, and He will not bring it too late. He will bring it at the exact moment when it will transform your life the most. People may ask how everything changed so fast. They may question how doors opened, how opportunities appeared, how you were promoted, how you recovered so quickly after hardship. But they will not understand that this is what happens when God decides to intervene. When God moves, explanations become unnecessary. When God releases favor, the impossible becomes effortless. When God lifts you, even the highest mountains cannot block your rise. The truth is simple. You have been faithful, and God is about to be generous. You have been obedient, and God is about to honor you. You have been patient, and God is about to accelerate you. You have been resilient, and God is about to reward you. You have walked through seasons that would have broken others, yet you kept moving. You stayed grounded. You stayed committed. You stayed connected to God even when everything around you collapsed. There comes a moment in every destiny when God shifts the atmosphere around your life so dramatically that even you struggle to comprehend the magnitude of what is happening. It is the moment when years of silent endurance suddenly collide with a divine now, when long-standing burdens begin to lift, when closed doors begin to tremble, when delayed promises begin to approach. When God says enough to the storms, enough to the waiting, enough to the battles that drained your strength, you are living close to that moment now. The heaviness you feel is not a sign of defeat, it is the final pressure before breakthrough. It is the spiritual tension that always precedes a move of God. God has a way of turning quiet seasons into launching pads. The very stage that seemed empty is about to become the place where your purpose stands tall. The very area where you felt the most unseen is where God will display His greatest work. God specializes in reversing narratives. God specializes in taking the last and making them first. God specializes in taking the forgotten and seating them among the favored. What felt like rejection was really divine redirection. What felt like abandonment was divine preservation. Every no you heard was God clearing the path for the blessing that truly belongs to you. This next season will require you to walk with a confidence that does not come from circumstances, but from belief. A confidence born from knowing that when God declares a blessing over your life, nothing can cancel it. When God marks you for favor, no voice can silence it. When God ordains your rise, no opposition can prevent it. God does not negotiate your destiny with your critics. God does not ask permission from people who doubted you. God does not reconsider His plans because others cannot see your worth. The favor that is coming is not dependent on the approval of others. It is anchored in God alone. You must prepare your heart for the reality that the next version of your life will look nothing like the previous one. You will not think the way you used to think. You will not desire what you used to chase. You will not shrink to fit environments that once made you comfortable. Growth has changed you. Pain has matured you. Waiting has shaped you. and God has strengthened you. You are no longer who you were when the struggle began. God has rebuilt you from the inside out, and the transformation within you is about to be matched by the transformation around you. Do not be surprised when God begins to move people, places, and situations around like pieces on a chessboard. God is aligning everything with precision. God is placing you in exact positions that lead to destiny. God is coordinating encounters that will accelerate you. God is exposing motives that were hidden. God is removing distractions disguised as opportunities. God is revealing who is truly for you and who never was. Every shift may not feel pleasant, but every shift is purposeful. What feels like loss is actually divine pruning. God is cutting away what cannot survive the weight of your next blessing. Some of you have been silent about your struggles because you felt no one would understand. You carried your pain quietly, endured your pressure privately, walked through storms alone because you didn't want to burden anyone. But God saw every silent battle. God heard every unspoken prayer. God counted every tear no one else knew about. And God is about to honor the depth of your endurance. Those who suffer in secret are often the ones God rewards in ways that leave the world speechless. The breakthrough coming your way will not be subtle. It will be undeniable. It will not be halfway. It will be complete. It will not be ordinary. It will be supernatural. You're not stepping into a small blessing. You're stepping into a shift that redefines your life. God is not giving you a glimpse of favor. God is immersing you in it. The reward will match the weight of the suffering you endured. The restoration will exceed the depth of what you lost. God never returns what was taken in the same measure. God multiplies, God expands, God elevates. And hear this clearly, God is not just blessing you for where you've been, but for where you're going. There are assignments connected to your future. There are people you are destined to influence. There are lives that will be touched because of your story. God is preparing you to carry blessings with responsibility, influence with humility, and favor with wisdom. You are being positioned not for temporary success, but for impact that outlives the season and echoes into generations. One of the greatest tests before divine favor is the test of discipline. Discipline in faith, discipline in thought, discipline in endurance. God does not release elevation into instability. God waits until you have learned to master the storms you once feared. God waits until you can stand steady when the wind shifts. God waits until your heart is aligned with His purpose. And now, after everything you've walked through, you carry a strength you did not have before. You carry a depth of understanding that only comes through experience. You carry a wisdom sharpened by trials, and for that reason, you are ready for the blessing that once would have overwhelmed you. There will be a moment when the favor of God begins to move so visibly in your life that even the people who doubted you will have to acknowledge it. Not because you need their recognition, but because God uses your journey as evidence that He lifts those who trust Him. The same mouths that spoke against you will speak of your blessing. The same eyes that overlooked you will witness your rise. The same hands that withheld support will see God support you in ways beyond human assistance. When God decides to elevate someone, no human opinion can interfere. You are approaching a season where God is going to give you answers to questions that have lingered for years. You will understand why certain relationships ended, why certain opportunities collapsed, why certain prayers seemed unanswered. God is not just giving you blessings, God is giving you clarity. Clarity that heals, clarity that releases, clarity that frees you from cycles of doubt and confusion. The understanding you've been craving is on its way, and it will settle your spirit in a way nothing else ever has. And above all of this, remember, God is not preparing you for a blessing that fades. God is preparing you for a blessing that anchors your future, strengthens your identity, and affirms your purpose. A blessing that expands your courage. A blessing that restores your hope. a blessing that reminds you who has been in control the entire time. You will rise not by accident, but by divine intention. You will walk through doors not because of chance, but because they were crafted specifically for you. You will succeed not because of luck, but because God Himself ordained the path beneath your feet. And as you stand here at this moment with your heart open and your spirit listening, I want you to understand something deep, something life-changing, something that will shift the atmosphere around you. God has not brought you this far to leave you empty-handed. God has not carried you through storms so you could drown in the shallow end. God has not allowed the battles, the tears, the nights when you felt forgotten, so you could end up living an ordinary story. God has been preparing you for a turning point, and that turning point is closer than you think. There is a divine shift that is already unfolding behind the curtain of your life, a quiet movement of favor that you cannot see yet, but you can feel in your spirit if you slow down long enough to listen. Every delay you faced was not denial, it was positioning. Every closed door was a redirection towards something you could not have reached on your own. Every person who walked away created space for the ones God will send. Every tear watered a future you could not yet imagine. And now, after all the waiting, after all the stretching, after all the moments when you whispered to yourself, God, please don't forget me, you are entering the hour where God shows you that you were never unseen, never overlooked, never abandoned for a single second. God was writing a chapter of your life that required silence before revelation. So walk into this next season with confidence, not because of your strength, but because of God's promise. Move forward, not with fear, but with expectation. Stand up each morning and declare, God, I trust the favor you are releasing over my life. Because when God decides to favor you, no enemy can block it, no jealousy can stop it, no doubt can interfere with it, and no circumstance can reverse it. You are not stepping into luck. You are stepping into divine timing. You are not stepping into coincidence. You are stepping into God's orchestration. You are not stepping into what the world thinks you deserve. You are stepping into what God destined for you long before anyone had an opinion about you. Your story is about to shift. Your valley is about to lift. Your struggle is about to flip into strength. The battle that lasted so long is about to produce a testimony so powerful that even you will say, only God could have done this. And when God shocks you with favor, remember this moment, remember the nights you prayed, remember the days you held on when you could have let go, remember the storms you survived, because those were not wasted chapters, those were the foundations of what God is now building. So breathe, lift your head, straighten your shoulders, step into the light of what God is unfolding. You are closer to breakthrough than you've ever been, closer to restoration than you've ever imagined, closer to abundance than you've ever dreamed. God is not finished with you. God is about to showcase what divine favor looks like when it lands on a life that refused to give up. And when it happens, when the blessing appears, when the peace settles in, when the right doors open, when the right people show up, when the weight lifts, when the breakthrough arrives, you will know without a doubt that it was not coincidence, not accident, not chance. It was God and God alone, proving once again that when He decides to favor you, nothing in this world can stand against it.